Hey everybody, welcome to the Hobbystreakers, episode 26. Woo!
26.
That means we've been doing this for a year. So that's gonna be the last episode of season 1. The next episode would be season 2, episode 1. Woohoo! So yeah, pretty cool.
I mean, one of us has to grow a beard.
We both have a beard. It's fine. So then we would need to shave, which hell no.
No, I'm not.
I don't want to look like I'm 12 years old.
Yeah, same.
So no. Introducing pageless format. I don't care. Really? Now you do this, Google? Really? Anyways. Welcome to the Hobbystreakers. So the Hobby Streak is doing 30 minutes of hobby every night for the longest streak possible. Today, Liam on 1685. Yes, that is a big number,
yes.
As always.
It's a very large number.
Today I am on 517. Woohoo! So, still going strong on my first hobby streak, and yeah. We got approached by Military Miniatures. So, they are an electronic publication, so they do basically PDF magazines on the hobby. They sent us one of their issue for review, well, and honestly I have not had time to read it. Did you?
I had a very quick flick through.
Exactly, that's same as mine. It looks pretty thorough and pretty like it's full, like it's 50 pages and it's pretty full. So they wanted us to do an interview with the guy that's the editor of the magazine, but again, we don't do interviews. We can barely get it sorted for ourselves.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, yeah. Once we work out how to get 2 people and 2 cameras working consistently.
Yeah, I still need to go.
Then maybe
through,
we can think about it.
I still need to go through the potential of doing a stream, which I need to go through my other computer, bring it here, hook it up, and see what I can do with all the computers together, and if that's even gonna work. So yeah, right now I am recording my audio separately, which might sound better or worse. I have no idea, but we're trying. We keep on developing, so yeah. So we'll put a link to Military Miniatures down in the show notes, and take a look at them. Again, their magazine seems pretty thorough, so I will go through it. I will actually read the first edition, and then we'll see. We'll talk more about them.
It's very NA based.
What do you mean NA?
That they don't talk a lot about stuff over this side of the Atlantic.
Okay. Oh, North America. Wow. Okay. Because for me, NA is non-applicable, and I was like, "What?"
Yes.
So North America is non-applicable. Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
No.
Never been there. Can't be a real place.
Do you know why we removed? We spared color, OR, and all the other words that we do the same to. That's supposed to be British, and because we don't need you.
Because you charge by the letter.
Because we don't need you. Freaking British people. I'm just. Anyways, what are you painting today? Seems to be some terrain. Ooh.
Back on the train.
Ooh.
Because the only thing I've got on my desk at the moment is these boys here, and they're on a highlight stage, and we've established that I can't highlight and talk to people at the same time.
So what?
So I ran a very quick Twitter. I ran a very quick Twitter poll to see what I should paint, and
I didn't see it. Oh, I missed it.
Yeah, it only went on for 2 hours, so...
Oh, okay, yeah, it's been crazy busy today,
Yeah.
so yeah, I didn't see it. I'm sorry.
I was like, oh, should I paint... So I've actually finish doing the guys I'm finishing. Should I start on the dragon? Should I continue to do some scenery, or should I do some heresy stuff? And the dragon won, but somebody else was... Darth Alec was like, oh, do the scenery. You can talk and do scenery. And somebody else was like, yeah, do the heresy terminators. Do the heresy terminators. So I was like, well, I'm going to do the scenery because I can.
That's the easiest.
Yeah.
Shit, is that water or is that mixed with alcohol? Ooh, whew. That smells like alcohol, so that's not the one I want. That means it's this one that I want. And it's empty, of course. Oh, God damn it. This is the thing, you see, that's the problem. Not being ready to actually paint. Ah, God damn it. Well...
See, JG's all flustered because I got it before him today.
Well, yeah. Well, you're... I usually start earlier so I can set up everything because it's the same computer I use for my work and everything, so... But of course, I don't have parchment paper now. I don't have my brushes because I've put them in my travel kit to see what they would look like in my travel kit. So I am gonna have to stand up and go grab those. Which makes for awesome video. Yay.
Yeah.
And awesome audio. Because people are gonna have to wait for me to get that stuff out. Anyways, I'm gonna paint more bandits. That's pretty much all I've been painting lately. I don't know why I'm taking so long to paint those guys. Like, I don't know. I have no idea. Well, they're nice. I think that they're a nice little sculpt. They look funny and so... yeah. Alright, let me go grab my stuff. And like this, I can also show you my paint pal fully printed with the band on it to hold everything in place.
So while you go do that, I'll do my shoutouts.
Sure, yep, that sounds good. Go for it.
That's called not having dead air.
Alright, go for it.
So my shoutouts for this episode, we've got the man, Mr. Archmagos, Mr. Grant, who's hit 900 days of his hobby streak, and also recently hit 7 episodes of his podcast that he does called Throwin Dice. So go check out the Throwin Dice podcast with Grant and Curtis. They're good people. Tell them we said hi. We've got Gordon Vincent 3, who's on 200 days. We've got Lepierre 71, who's on 500 days. We've got Sam Smale on 500 days. We've got Zach Dark Arts on 500 days. And we've got Kithead 13 on 1 year, 365 consecutive days of hobby.
Nice.
Good job, everyone.
Alright, cool. Cool. Well, so, I'm still doing my... Here we go, yay! Piece of parchment paper in the wet palette. So, as I was saying, this is my paint pal with the little band on it to hold everything together. Fancy.
Compact.
Yeah, and I showed it last time. Brushes on the top, and so brush holder on the top, which this is why I wanted. Actually, do I need any of those? Maybe this one. Yep. Then underneath you have the wet palette, and underneath that is gonna be where I'm gonna put some minis. So yeah, pretty cool. And then I bought some straps that are Velcro, and works really well to hold everything together so that it does not open. So pretty cool. Pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
And yeah, don't have many shout-out this week. I might have missed a few. I don't know. I try to, when I see that, you know, like 503, and I'm like, oh shit. So I usually go back and try to see if I missed their 500. And I try to do that often, like when I've not been looking at me to the Twitter for quite a while. I try to do that. I try to go back and be like, okay, you're close to 500. Let me see if I didn't miss yours. You're close to 300. Let me see if I didn't miss yours, and so on and so forth. This week I have Steve Cross. Well, this past 2 weeks I should say, because we do 2 weeks. I have Steve Cross on 900 days. I've got Matakishi on 900 days, and Santiago Close on 500 days. So congrats again to everybody. Keep the hobby streak going. I have to say that those 3 people have been pretty active in the hobby, and in the hobby streak Twitters, they've been pretty active. So thanks guys for always being there. And yeah, people, please, when you see people that reach a certain threshold or certain level, please just show them some love. Tell them congrats. It goes a long way. I know that, yeah, people tends to, you know, it's the endorphin. It's stupid, but it's always nice to have someone say, hey, congrats on 100 days.
Make people feel good about the work they do.
Exactly. And, you know, like, some people might be like, oh, why am I doing this, and blah, 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 and all this, and then all of a sudden they reach, like, 100 days, and somebody goes, hey, good job, keep going, you know, like, good job on 100 days. It motivates them, and again, you know, it's something always nice to have. So, yes, please do. Now, the last 2 weeks, I've not done much, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, I went through my Insta to find out, to refresh myself what I was doing the last 2 weeks. I went, wow, I've done jack shit.
So last time on the hobby, I painted this dude, one of the bandits, and I started base color on one other bandit. Well, since then I finished that second one. The first one, I've went back and did some highlights, blah, blah, blah. And then I did another 2. So right now I got 4 that are finished, except the base. The base there's the prime color on them, but I have not put the wash or anything on it yet. And so now I'm painting another one, and that's pretty much like the only things that I've painted. Now, I've printed quite a few. And like, this is full. This is full. Yes, those are Pringles little boxes. They were great to hold minis. So I have a whole bunch of minis in there that have been 3D
Point of order.
printed.
That's not what Pringle boxes look like over here.
Those are the individual Pringles. The can one is still the same here too. The long can that looks like a tennis ball container. Yeah. Well,
we've got little ones that are about that big, but they're just round still.
Well, those have like the weird thing on the bottom, and they open and because they have the shape of the Pringles that are stacked, and so yeah, that's the way they are. Anyways, and I've done a little bit of key bashing like this guy, and so basically in the game that I'm working on, there are some minis that I could not find, so I've made them. like this guy is a were-panther.
Okay.
So I took a werewolf, chop his head off, chop his tail off, and put the head of a 3D printed panther and the tail of a 3D printed panther on it, and now it looks like a were-panther. And so I've done that. I've printed a whole bunch of basically special forces guys. There's quite a lot of them. Not super happy with some of the prints, and I just realized that this goes on top there and it's broken and it sucks, and yeah, I'm gonna have to reprint a few of those. But anyways, so I printed a lot of them. There's one that is drying right now that I will need to take off the plate and rinse in alcohol and all this as usual. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing. And I kept on trying to strip the stormtroopers even more than what they've already been stripped. So I'm still working on that as well. So I think they're about as far as I could ever get them. So I will try to reglue them all, because some of them, after a long time in alcohol, the super glue went off. And so I will reglue them. They're 2 parts or 3 parts models. They're not that complicated. They're the original Star Wars Legion. They were pretty easy to build, and so yeah. But they don't work with the cement, because they are not PVC plastic thing. They're just a weird plastic they were using before. Now they moved to the normal plastic. But anyways, so yeah, that's pretty much it. And what about yourself?
So I finished the Liberators and the Night Vexilla that I was working on last episode. Then I went to Whitney Warhammer 2, which is a narrative event that was held in Oxfordshire. So it was basically right next to Oxford.
Right.
So that was fun. So there was 6 games across 2 days of a variety of different points levels, and we were telling a story. There was an emergent narrative.
Cool. That's always fun.
Yeah, in the first event, shenanigans happened. So this is a continuing story from the first event that I wasn't at. So there was a clone key that can access the different realm gates and make them go to different places rather than where they would normally go. And it was all starting to get out of hand and out of control and stuff. So, yeah, I played some fun and interesting games. There was some beautiful tables, and each table had unique scenery rules and different stuff happening on it. So there was one table which had like a floating palace at one end, and if you had any flying units, you could fly up to the palace and talk to the lady of the palace. And somebody ended up doing that at one point and rolled a dice on the table that they were given by the event organizer, and ended up getting proposed to by the lady.
Nice.
So there was a marriage going on, and later on in the event, the player who was running our side failed to provide a significant enough wedding gift for this player, so he switched sides midway through the event.
Nice. Yeah, that's fun.
And there was yeah, the guy running our side had converted himself up a cog 4. The guy running the opposing side had converted himself up something to answer that, which is basically a giant garden centre turtle that he built a fort on the back of and stuck a giant cannon out the front of.
Cool.
And there was cake.
Oh, that's always nice. Oh yeah, I saw like the multitude of different cakes.
So much cake.
Cool.
They were very nice cakes as well. In fact, they were so nice.
Store bought or people made?
Made.
Ooh.
Made. We had homemade chili con carne and jacket potatoes for lunch on the Saturday. We had homemade roast dinner on the second day.
Cool.
And we were in fact the product manager for Age of Sigmar was at the event.
Ooh.
And he tweeted at one point, it was like, I think I'm in the next update, I'm going to have to add cake phase to the rules.
Nice.
So
cool.
we had that.
That's pretty cool. So you had fun,
Yeah.
is what you're saying.
It was a great laugh. It was a great giggle. And while I was there, I started on the Vindictors that I've got in front of me.
Yeah.
And they're almost done. So that was last week. That wasn't this weekend just gone. That was the weekend before that. Okay. So it's taken me 2 weeks to do 10 guys for some reason.
Well, yeah, again, we go back to, yeah. Like I said,
I don't know why. It just has.
I don't know why I seems to have done so little, but then I mean, like yesterday I tried to, so I made one plate for 3D printing, which took about 30 minutes to just organize it properly and pick the models and all this crap. Didn't do a lot of support, which I should know better than to trust pre-supported minis, but anyways. And then I looked at my STL files and I'm like, oh, let me see if I can start organizing a little bit my STL files. And that was a mistake. Because I ended up spending a freaking hour and all I did was move everything into one folder. That's pretty much all I did. And then I realized I have about 100 and something gig of STL files, which it's just freaking crazy. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh my god, why do I have all these things? But yeah, I am now subscribed to a couple of Patreon for STLs. I used to have one which I discontinued because most of the models that I have printed, it's his, but I wasn't really happy with what I was getting as far as, from the Patreon. So I discontinued that one. But there's another one that does modern military, and he does a really great job. It's been complicated lately because I think the guy is from Ukraine, so
right.
So he complicated. Let's just put it that way.
He's slightly busy telling the Russians to fuck off.
Pretty much. So that was not. And then I subscribed to Spectre Operation, which I've talked to in the past about them. They have a set of rules, modern military, and they do a range of minis. One that we were talking about last time was the one that looked like Division.
Yeah. And
so that's them. That's Spectre Operations. And so they started a Patreon not that long ago about minis. And so one, I might have it here somewhere. One of the ones that was for last month, no, this month, sorry, is this guy, which is a CIA operative with an AK and like, yeah, so it looks really cool. He's got the beard and everything. It looks pretty cool. It looks like a special forces kind of thing, but in civilian clothes, kind of cover up kind of thing. But yeah, holding an AK. So, anyways, I thought that was pretty cool. There is a few that they do for their, as a welcome pack. There's a few, like 3 miniatures so far for their welcome pack. But anyway, so they've not started that long ago. I think it's the second month that they're doing this. So really happy. Honestly, like really happy about what they're doing. Somehow they have pudding bases on their STLs, and everybody's going nuts. They're like, "Why the hell do you put pudding bases on the thing?" And I was looking at it, and I'm like, that makes no freaking sense. But because they do metal minis, they have the pudding bases on their metal minis.
Right.
So what they want is, if you print this and you put it next to one of the metal mini that you have from their range, they will look exactly the same, and they will have both the pudding base. Which, in a way, makes sense, but... And again, like, if you want, you put it in...
See, what you want to do is you want to get in there with the little video that somebody's made called "How to Remove the Pudding Bases from Your Metal Miniatures" and how to support bases onto your own printed miniatures. It's almost like we've got you covered for that.
Exactly. Well, this one actually, what I did was I printed it with the pudding base and just chopped it off like I would with any other plastic or metal mini, but it's resin, so it's just cut super easily, and it was super easy to remove, and it's pretty thin. Now the other way you can do it is actually put it in a slicer, a program called Slicer, but SLIC3R.
Yeah.
So that's Slicer, the software, and then you can remove the pudding base. Well, you can remove any base, which I usually do when I do miniatures. So you can do that as well if you want. But so yeah, I was a little bit surprised on that. But no, super cool minis. They have one insurgent sniper. They have an insurgent kind of special ops type guy, and they have a special forces guy as well, as part of their signing package, basically. So, really happy about that. Now, they do a single mini, and then they do a multiple mini, like a group of mini, which is going to be, I believe, two minis together. So, which are going to be along the same theme. So I do not know what's going to be this month's multiple mini package, but yeah. So that's the one I'm waiting on, and yeah, pretty happy. And so those are pretty much the ones that I've subscribed to. And of course, Yasashi, because Yasashi is $1, which is ridiculous, and you get access to all his minis. The people that I have backed is Kickstarter, which I talked about on this podcast. He actually released some of the models that were in the like the extra things.
Stretch goals.
Thank you. I'm tired. I'm sorry. I'm just yeah. So some of the stretch goals, he actually released it. And so I thought that was pretty cool. Now, I don't know how I'm going to edit this because I feel like I'm talking about news and it's not the news. But there is...
When have we ever talked about things in the order that we put them in the show notes?
Maybe the first time we did the show notes.
Possibly.
And I think that's probably it.
Yep.
There is a competition right now from Eligoo. I believe it is Eligoo. You can win a Neptune 3, which is a FDM printer, so filament, and you can win some filament, 5 rolls or 3 rolls. Those are the 3 prices for the competition, and it is print and paint Yasashi models. So I just got that today, and I am really interested in it. I'm gonna see, because I really like his Minotaurs.
Sculpts?
Well, no, the Minotaurs. Yeah, well, the sculpts in general, but I really like the Minotaurs, and I am thinking about painting one of the Minotaurs, and, well, printing it and painting it, and see what I can do, because even just some little filament would be nice. I mean, like, even just the third prize, which is 3 rolls of filament, yeah, I'll take that. You know, it's nice. It's a pretty...
Last you about a week?
No, I've not printed that much in filament. Not printing that much lately. I did get through the filament that I got last month, I think. So I'm going about a roll of filament a month, I would say, or maybe 2 months. So yeah. But I made some useful stuff. I made a holder for the door of the washing machine, so that the washing machine doesn't close and doesn't mildew and doesn't stink. So what I did is I made basically a rod that is rounded at the top, so that it goes into a little rubber bumper that is on the door already, and on the other side I made so that I could put 2 millimeters by, well, 10 millimeters by 2 millimeter thick magnets, and I put a little piece of felt on the bottom, and yeah, that's all it takes for the little bar to stick to the machine and then avoid the door from closing. And you can remove it by just unpopping it from the thing, and so super easy to use. And yeah, so I've done that. I printed some new holder for doors, so that the cats can get in the bedrooms but the dog cannot. Because the dog likes to go in the bedrooms and grab socks on the floor and chew on the socks. He's awesome. He does not touch anything like furnitures, shoes, whatever. He does not touch any of that stuff. Like, even stuffed animals, I have not seen him grab a stuffed animal. He destroys his toys. His toys last about 2 minutes. Yeah, he will just go through toys. It's crazy. But he doesn't touch anything else except socks. I don't know why, but socks is this thing. And the kids, of course, tell them to keep their socks out of the floor, and yeah, that's never gonna happen. So we are locking the bedrooms so that the dog doesn't go in the bedroom. But the cats can go, so it keeps the door slightly ajar. And yeah, so I've printed a few of those, because I keep breaking. Well, I broke one last time, so I had to reprint it, but yeah. And some terrain I printed recently. And my paint pal. Woohoo! Yay! Which I really love. It's awesome. So yeah. Anyways, so competition. I might try to do that. So yeah. Super Super looking forward to that. I should have maybe I didn't have time, but I should have printed it for today and worked on that. But anyways, what are we talking about today?
Streaker poll!
Oh, and why is it going to the next page? There we go.
I don't know. Don't move it, then I've got to scroll again.
Alright, so what happened is well, because there's always a weird freaking reason why we're doing those polls, and my uncle, yes, I think he's my uncle. Yeah, he's my uncle. It was like, my uncle sent me a video from one of my, well, from his daughter, which is my cousin, and I do not even know where that video is, because I asked if she posted on YouTube, and he said no. But anyways, where she goes through, basically, it's a quick video, and she's like, yeah, this is Warhammer, and this is a box, and you open it, and you clip your sprue, and you assemble, and then you paint, and then you play, and blah blah blah. And it's like a little, like a quick video just showing what Warhammer is all about, basically. There is no voiceover, there is overlaid text, which is in French, because she's French. And yeah, and I thought that was really cool, and I did not know that my cousin was doing that. I know one of my cousins in Canada that does Warhammer and everything, and he is on the, is on my Twitter, and he is also on the group on Facebook. And so I knew about him, and we had a chat about, because again, all of a sudden I saw a post, and he was posting that flying lady, but the older model, I think, with the wings and everything. I never know the name.
Celestine?
Yes. And he was like, that's my best model I ever painted, and that model looked freaking awesome, because he did like the whole sky thing and all this, and it just looks super cool. And so when I saw that the first time, I was like, holy moly, I didn't know you painted miniatures and blah blah blah. And so we talked about that, and we talked about the hobby streaker and all this, because that's at the time that we were doing this. So yeah, it was like it was fun talking to him, and it's been a while since I had talked to him. And I knew he moved to Canada, and he's in Quebec, the French Canada. So yeah, but again, super cool dude. And yeah, and I did not know that Marlene, which is my other cousin, I did not know she was doing that as well. And she has some painted, in the video, some painted minis that are super cool and super well painted. So I was surprised by that too. Like, I had no idea she was doing that also. And so it got me thinking, like, because my kids will once in a while come and paint. My son wants to play, he likes to play board games, and he really likes Marvel Crisis Protocol, so he's asking me often, he's like, when are we gonna play again? And I'm like, oh yeah, we should, and we never do, but we really should. So, yeah, but the painting is, okay. I think they really like the fact that you can paint really quickly with contrast paint. So that was kind of like, ooh, that's super cool, that's super easy. And it looks okay, so I'm really happy with what I've done. So that's kind of like, and that's probably the extent of the people that are involved in the hobby in my family. Yeah. My wife paints, but she paints. And she does illustrations. Again, all this is proper, she will do gouache and oil. and watercolor, and fusain, which is I don't know what's the name in English. That black, it looks like it's like charcoal.
Yeah, charcoal.
Okay, charcoal drawings. So she does that, and she does with the white charcoal. So they're not called charcoal, but they're the same. And then she does also with like they look like chalk, but they're not. They're pigment powder stuck together kind of thing. So she does that as well. Sure. Sculpting and woodwork and all these things, but she doesn't paint mini. And she's not really interested in that. The closest she got to a miniature game that she really liked was Gloomhaven. Because she liked the cards more than anything else, how they work. I don't know if you know how Gloomhaven works, but anyways. You have a set of cards and you choose the top of one card and the bottom of another card, and that's what you're going to play next turn. And like the combination that you can do and all this is super interesting. And that's kind of what she likes in that games. And that's why she likes games like Clank, which is a deck building game, and things like this. Not a big fan of like Zombicide or other miniatures, similar miniatures. She liked when we played Mice and Mystics, which is a miniature game but aimed towards kids. If people have played that, they will know it. It's super cool. Like the story and everything is really nice. But again, not an actual tabletop game. So that's about as far as she will go. And so yes, I was surprised when two of my cousins are actually painting minis and playing Warhammer and going to Warhammer stores and doing stuff like that. So yeah, really cool. So what about you? Because that's pretty much like I said, that's pretty much my family. That's it. Like nobody else really. They don't mind and they don't really care. But that's about it. Like, they won't engage me into talking about this. They're like, oh, you're painting mini. That's good. You're having fun? Yes. Okay, cool. And that's pretty much where it stops.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah. Shit.
So, I've told the story before of how I got into the hobby, so...
Who is responsible?
Games.
Who got you?
It's my younger brother Toby. It's his fault.
Who made you lose all your money?
Him.
Who made you spend all your money on plastic crack?
Yeah. We were sort of gatewayed into it by a cousin who doesn't do anything remotely nerdy anymore.
Oh, really?
No.
Why?
He discovered girls. I think is the short answer.
Well, so.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But my dad played Magic the Gathering.
Okay.
And that's what we were into as a family before Warhammer.
Okay. Yeah, that's also an arm in the leg when you just get into it. Jeez.
Cardboard crack.
Yep.
But no, we don't normally really play that anymore. And like my youngest brother made interested noises in the direction of Warhammer when Toby and I started getting into it, but I think that was more of a this is what my brothers are doing, so I need to do it as well.
Okay.
Rather than
actual
interest.
Yeah.
So
no, and I think
he's dropped that,
and I think that's kind of like
quickly.
My kids when they come and paint with me. What? Oh, you stupid shit! So looks like my audio has stopped. Fantastic. Well, that's stupid. Well, let's record more. Let's record again. So I don't know how long you can record. That's a good question. Well, we will see. I'm sorry about the sound issues again. God damn it. So yeah, I think my kids, that's kind of what the same thing as well. When they come and paint with me, is more like, hey, Dad is painting. Let's just do something with that.
Yep.
More than anything, more than actual proper interest. My son, for sure, his interest is more into the Switch and his Nintendo and video games and things like this. Which, again, I was like, yeah, that's fine. I used to do the same when I was a kid, and I still like my video game once in a while, but yeah, again, it does not relax you as much as this does. That's for sure, because you get frustrated and agitated when you play video games. So paint minis. It's easier. So anyways, sorry I cut you off, but yeah. So who else? That's it?
That's it.
Do you have any cousins or...
Yep, there's a cousin who introduced us to Warhammer. He brought some Warhammer rounds to our grandparents while we were over there. One time. And we were like, ooh, that's interesting. And then forgot about it. But, like, I was out with my cousin, a different cousin, and my aunt last Tuesday. And I was explaining to them what I'd done over the weekend at the narrative event, and they were like, no.
They were like, what? No, not for us. And again, like it's not
like they like bought me model kits for birthdays and Christmases and stuff. So like they know what the stuff is, but I was explaining to them how points worked as a system, and they're like, no, don't get it. It's okay, cool.
It's fine. Again, like yeah. You know, this is the thing. Is like my wife. The only time she asks me about my miniature is if she needs something for her own painting. Last time she came in and she was like, "Do you have any medium, acrylic medium, thick acrylic medium, glossy?" I'm like, "No." She's like, "Oh, okay." And that's pretty much the extent of what she wants to know about it, which is fine. You know, or last, you know, but she does. Like, she asks us, like, oh, you recorded your podcast today? I'm like, yep. All right. It went well? Yep. Okay, cool. And that's, and again, like, that's the extent that she, but it's okay. Like, and I think that this, a lot of people, like, when you look at the result, a lot of people are the only ones. And I was like, oh my God, like, at least another family member, you know, like a brother or a cousin or something like that would. But a lot, like most people, 54% said, that's it. It's me and myself. And I thought that was pretty sad. I was like, oh man.
I'm the only one in the house.
Yeah, but this is why I put like extended family, because I'm the only one in the house technically. Like I said, the kids will do blah blah blah, but they don't. Yeah, it's not a regular thing enough to count as for me to count as them actually doing the hobby. But like I said, I have cousins that are well into it as well, and so that for me that was like the thing that saved me in a way. Of saying, well, yeah, there's still some other people, and yeah, but yeah, it's yeah. Anyways, again, if nobody's in your family does it, doesn't mean that you should stop. Doesn't mean you should try to convert them as well, because you really don't want that. It's like board games. We do board games every week. We have game night, usually on Friday night with the kids and a friend coming over. But sometimes we do it on Saturday night. But anyways, my daughter is not a big fan of game night. She's not a big fan of board games, and we still do it. And we know she's not gonna either she's not gonna participate or she's gonna be in somebody's team so that she doesn't have to do much, and this is fine. And again, like, we're not trying to convert her, and maybe she'll get this game that she prefers over others, and so on and so forth. The thing with board games is there are a lot of different style, and you can find a style that you will like better than others. Like, she loves Cartographer, which is a roll and write. She likes King Domino, which is a tile placement. She's not a big fan of other games. Deck building is not at all what she likes. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways. Now, miniature games, tabletop games, well, whether it's skirmish or armies or whatever, is still just my dude fighting your dudes. Kind of. If you play a solo campaign, is my dudes fighting against the computer. Well, the computer. It's fighting against the game, which is usually AI-driven kind of thing. So yeah, there's not a lot of variety, is what I'm going at. Like, I don't think there is as much as something like board games. And again, you can like to paint minis and nothing else, which would be fine, and you can also like to play and not paint minis, which would be fine. But somehow, if you don't like to paint minis, you don't like to play the games, that hobby is pretty much closed. Like, I don't see what else you could do. So yeah, hopefully.
It's yeah. Like, my parents are always like, oh, that's what you've been painting. Oh, that looks really cool. What you talking about on the podcast?
Yeah,
stuff like that. So they're interested, but they're not like involved.
no, and yeah, it's kind of that's the way it usually is. So, CMON, CMON, whatever you want to call them, are doing a Kickstarter on Cyberpunk. So, Night City setting, it looks like a kind of an area control game, and I just received an email from them, which is really weird. Cyberpunk 2077. Gang.
I've hacked your brain.
Gang of Night City. Oh my god, I've been hacked. Is now live on Kickstarter. So they were saying 23rd, but actually they are live now. So again, link will be down in the description, as we usually put links.
And I'm going to predict that by the time this episode goes live, it will have been fully funded.
Dude, by the time we're done recording, it would be fully funded. There is a gameplay video from Quackalop. I don't know if he's a board game reviewers, and it's called Quackalop because it's a duck with horns like a jackalope, but the Quackalop. That's his little mascot thing. Is a duck. He's a plastic duck. And yeah, so I have started looking at it a little bit, but the problem with gameplay, like, I can do a gameplay of guerrilla miniature games.
Yep.
On like the Silver Bayonet. Like there was one yesterday, a new one on the Silver, or this morning. I don't know. I watched it today, and and it's in the background, and I hear them roll, and once in a while I pick at where they are on the board and what they're doing, and I hear what they're rolling, and like that's fine, that works. But board games, I don't know why board games usually don't really work that way, especially games that I do not know. Then that starts being a problem, because then I have no idea what they're doing and what they're talking about and all this, and that starts making, well, being an issue as far as following what's going on. So I don't tend to be able to follow those, and I have not had time to actually sit down and look at the video properly. But it, again, Eric Lang is one of the developer on the game, and he's done some really good, like he's usually pretty good at game development, so I am confident that this game is gonna be sound. Let's just put it that way. There's gonna be some miniatures. Again, the miniatures are just fluff. They're not really that important in my opinion into like actual what it needs. I don't think it is. But yeah, it's well.
Yeah,
we'll
I
see.
mean that's standard call me not board game, really, isn't it? It's
Well, yeah, they're
it's got miniatures in it as board game pieces, but they're not like.
well, they make sense in a game like Zombicide, because for me Zombicide is a miniature game, kind of gateway miniature game.
Yeah.
So for me, it makes sense that they have that they have minis for those. That makes complete sense. Now for games like and they compared it to Rising Sun, which I have not played, so I'm not exactly sure, but that's kind of like what they compared it to. A little bit more complex than that, so it's a lot more complex than Zombicide, where you just move and shoot zombies. It's a proper board game, is what I think. Like that's what the feeling I got from the little that I've watched. So that's, yeah. So it's live. Literally just got the message, so it's live. You guys can check it out. It's gonna be probably for like a month or so. So usually that's what they do. So yeah. Speaking of board games, there will be a Kickstarter. This one I am not sure exactly when that's gonna be, but they basically
Now.
That would be freaky. But they're doing a Kickstarter for Gloomhaven, frosthaven, and Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion, and frosthaven for miniatures. Because those games have minis for the main characters, and then they have standees for the bad guys. And so basically what they're doing is they're doing minis for the bad guys. So again, if you want to add fluff to your game, that's pretty much something that you can do. Now, something that I was surprised of, and we'll keep going into the minis, White Dragon minis. I've seen a review on the tabletop of a set that they received of minis, and those were 3D printed. Now, those are not 3D printed the way that I 3D print. They are, I'm pretty sure, the powder with the laser. Do you see what I mean? Instead of being the screen flashing, blah blah blah, which is what I'm using to print resin. Those looked like they were the laser that, how did they call it? Scintillizer, I think it's called, where it there's a laser, and the laser just does a layer where it solidifies the powder and then goes again solidified, and so it is a lot more precise, and the definition of them, I mean, there is no layer line whatsoever, but there were some little supports. So again, like, if it was the powder, there shouldn't be any support. So again, I'm not exactly sure they print them, or they might have just some of the like very high-end printer that Formlab and things like this they have that are worth thousands of dollars. But what I was surprised, and so they sell the miniature, so you can buy the miniature physical object, but you cannot buy the STL. And I was really surprised, and I'm like, what? That makes no sense. If you have the STL already available, and if you're basically selling the STL, why are you not selling? Like, you're selling a 3D printed model. Why are you not selling the STL as well? So I thought that was really, really weird, and yeah, not sure why. And we'll see. I'll keep looking into it, but I was really surprised why they would not sell the STL. On the other hand, their minis are really nice, so...
Yeah, I saw them at a salute a while ago. And, yeah.
They're really nice, yeah. They're nice sculpt and everything, but again, like, I'm not sure why they... Do you know why they won't sell the STL?
Probably because they want to sell you the mini.
The minis, yeah.
And they want to sell you the mini more than once.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Yeah, because you have options and stuff, but again, I don't know. It for me, it seems like they could make a lot of money by selling the STLs as well. But again, like, I thought that was weird. And to keep in the STLs and everything, Osprey are releasing some metal minis for Stargrave, and those are grav sled. So gravity sled. They look like scooters, flying scooters. And so they're releasing a couple of minis in a pack that you can buy. That are basically riding those sled. Now they are giving you for free the STL of the scooter that can be used with the Stargrave troopers box and crew box and all this, that you can make your own. Like, you can take their boxes of minis and make a mini that will fit on that sled, and that will look like a flying dude on a scooter. So I thought that was really funny, that they actually give you that for free. I thought that was really cool. And yeah, I have a box of troopers and the crew and a whole bunch of other stuff for Stargrave, so I'm thinking that I really need to build one, print the sled, build one, and just see what it looks like, because I'm really interested now. I'm like, huh, when I saw this I think it was yesterday when I saw this, I was like, I need to check that out. I need to try to print one and see what it does. So anyways, that's the normal news. Now, for those who have not followed on social media, AMG had to cancel their Ministravanganza because of COVID. You know, the usual crap. So they actually ended up rescheduling today. They said that the Ministravanganza is now going to be on July 14 and 16. So we still have a little bit of a way to go. What are they gonna do more than what we saw? I'm not sure. what else they're gonna be doing, but basically what they did is they still went through the miniature that were gonna be announced and some of the scenario packs and things like this. So as far as Marvel Crisis Protocol is concerned, they have done what they called Classic Rivalry, which is so you have Nick Fury Seniors and the Howling Commandos. So they're all on a base, and I'm not sure exactly how they're gonna work. It looks like there might be some minions for something else. It's weird. There are 3 minis on a base, but anyways, so sculpt look pretty good, and again you will see that on the screen. Then they are releasing Baron Strucker and Arnim Zola, which they look super cool. Some classic villains from way back. And so yeah, and they are, because it's called Classic Rivalry, they are releasing Captain America, but the TV show version, well, it was also in the comic book, but for me, like, it's the TV show version that looks so...
The Silver Age version.
Yeah. With the wings on the on the helmet and everything. It looks dopey as hell, but super cool. Again. So that's kind of like what we're looking at. New releases for the Classic Rivalry, and they showed, but they have not shown it on that, but they've shown a new Red Skull as well, which for some reason is not on this, so they might be releasing it later on. Now, they also did a whole bunch of Azgard stuff, and so they are releasing, which we had seen before the supposedly Ministravanganza that they should have done. So Emdal and Scourge coming in a pack. They both look pretty cool minis. Malekith, which is awesome, flying on his Manticore type tiger thing, flying. It looks really cool. So that mini looks really, really cool. I really want that mini now. And they are doing, like they've done now for other packs, they're doing packs of affiliation. They've done the Thanos Black Order affiliation, and this
card packs, yeah.
And this time they're doing the Asgardians. So with Thor, Valkyrie, Loki, and Hela. So those are the ones that they are going to release. And that's pretty much all we've received. There have been some updated affiliation and stuff like that, but nothing on the rule set. It's been pretty much stable for quite a while now, the rule set. Now, they've announced that they will start worlds again for Star Wars Legion, X-Wing, and Armada. So that was surprising for everybody because nobody was expecting them to start worlds again. So that's pretty cool. So they say, we are happy to announce our partnership with Adepticon to host World Championship for Star Wars Armada, Star Wars Legion, and Star Wars X-Wing. Join us from March 22nd to March 26th, 2023. So that's pretty cool. A lot of people were really happy about this because that means that they're starting doing those again. Now, there has been some Star Wars Legion rule reference update, and I will put the link below. Again, not sure exactly what they represent. I know they include the new mercenary rules for some of the stuff that have been coming out, which I will talk about a little bit later on. They released a Star Wars X-Wing Battle of Yavin, which is the Battle of the Death Star, if you prefer. So there are 20 cards inside where it's combined pilots, upgrade into standard loadouts for your ships. And so it looks pretty cool. Like there's some stuff that are, it sticks to the Death Star attack, basically. Now, a lot of things that they released for Star Wars Legions are battle forces. So they've released 4 packs, and what's in there exactly, you will have to go look for yourself. We will be here for like an hour if we go through them. But basically, you buy this, you have what you need as a base for your army. If you play, if you play the Empire, if you play the Rebellion, if you play the droids and the other dudes for episode 1,
Republic and
Separatist. Thank you. So you have like in the boxes, you usually have like a couple of like a commander, and then a couple, or operative, and then a couple of special forces and vehicles or things like this. They are apparently really, really, really good values, especially for the Rebel one. It looks like it's like a $300 worth of minis in there for like $150. They are all $150, and yeah, they give you a lot of people say you have the starter pack, you buy one of those and you're set. Like you have everything that you need. Some of them will have duplicates, and so they're saying that, for example, the Empire, I believe, has, so the Empire has Vader, which is already in the starter set, and they have another, they have something else that I think the swooper bikes that are already in there as well. The one which is the Echo Base Troopers, or Echo Base Defense, which is the Rebel one, has nothing that's in the core set, so that one is really good value. And so anyways, they've announced those are really, really good, and they're really good values, and they're trying to get people kind of into the more into the hobby. Now they also announced IG-88 and IG-11. They are both coming into the pack. It's not one you can build one or the other. They actually are both in there. So that's pretty cool. Because we had the stuff before where you have, you can do this or this, and you're thinking that you have 2 and then you only have 1. So that sucks. They've done another Battle Force, and that one they've announced way before as well, and that was the Shadow Collective with the Pike Syndicate, some of the Mandalorian commandos, and Darth Maul. And they announced Mercenary Forces Swoop Bike Riders, and those looks really funny. I think they look pretty cool. And those are, again, mercenaries, so that you can use them in your army. And they released the rule set. The rule reference basically tells you how much you can put mercenaries of each type into your army without costing, and what they replace and what they can be added to, and so on, and the limitation of, because you cannot do a whole mercenary army, but you can add, like 2 of the basic troopers, meaning 2 of the vehicles, or 1, or blah blah blah, and so on and so forth. So again, read the rule reference, and you will have what you need on there. And that's about it. That's my news. So we'll see what the actual Ministravanganza will bring. Probably they will talk Ewok, because they have soft leaked them, announced them at one of the Star Wars convention thing that happened recently, and
Celebration.
Yeah. So they've talked about those, but again, the Ministravanganza, everybody was waiting on the Ewoks, and they have not released anything. So probably they will start releasing those, and maybe some additional stuff like the glider that was not in there as well. Maybe some like the chieftain, maybe some version of C3PO linked to them so in some way, or maybe it was just, maybe I'll just be a card or something like this. But anyway, so we'll see what they do, and that's probably something they will announce at the Ministravanganza. Again, maybe they will announce a new game for Star Wars. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so another 15 days. Well, yeah, 2-3 weeks, and we should have an answer. So we'll see. All right, and that's my news. What about you?
Cool. So, the first thing we've got is next week's pre-orders, or Saturday's pre-orders, because there's a lot going on there. There's the new Chaos Space Marines Codex, which is going to be fun, because that's going to have all the mutants and possessed guys that we saw from Warhammer Fest in. And the cover looks absolutely horrific and gnarly and awesome, and like it's some black metal album cover. So, good job whoever drew that. Got Combat Patrol, which again is a fairly good start to an army. Yeah, and you can buy the art print signed by the artist Lewis Jones.
Okay. Cool.
So something that people tend to forget is there's a Warhammer Art website where you can go and buy prints of the art that they put out.
Okay.
So
I did not know
remind
that.
you.
Yeah.
Remind
I didn't
people
know
of
that. Yeah. Cool.
Genestealer Cults Combat Patrol. Genestealer Cults is an army that I really love the lore for in terms of 40k. But
when you say combat patrol, that means
it's basically a start collecting box.
Okay.
So it's got a hero, a couple of units, and a vehicle.
Okay.
So, also, the Warhammer The Horus Heresy rulebook is up for pre-order separately on Saturday. So that means you too, if you didn't go for the big box, can have the Age of Darkness rulebook in your hands a full 2 weeks after you got the army book.
Okay.
Which is baffling to me, but hey, what do I know? That comes in
what
standard
do you know?
edition.
You've been doing this for, 10 years?
Yeah.
What do you know?
Standard edition and the fake leather bound with the metal corners and the ribbons to sort of match up with the campaign books that Forge World have previously put out. So if you want to spend extra on the main rulebook to have it look pretty and then get battered to high hell because you're using it all the time, then do that. I do not recommend going for fancy editions for core rulebooks for things because they get battered.
What? So, what you mean by fancy edition? It does the content change at all, or is just the cover?
No,
and
it's just the cover.
Okay.
It's just the binding.
So they're not even like, okay, so it's hardcover versus softcover, basically. That's what you're saying.
It's hardcover versus leather cover with metal corners and gilt edges on the pages.
Holy shit! Like full blown, like go for it.
Yeah.
Holy moly!
So it's going to be expensive.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I got my rulebook through a third-party bits site that was breaking down the boxes. So that hasn't turned up yet. So I might get that at the same time that the general release of the rulebook.
Do we have any clue whatsoever when they will release that separate?
The rulebook?
Yeah.
It goes on pre-order on Saturday.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I missed that. Okay, so but is that all you need? Is that all you need to play?
So you need the Age of Darkness rulebook, and then you need
this monster.
One of these. There's either the Liber Hereticus, or there's the Liber Astartes, and this is a big boy.
Yeah,
and that's got. In here, if you have a look down through my top view, has got the full army list.
Okay.
For the Space Marine Legions, so that will be the same.
Okay.
Where are we? This bit is the same across the two books.
Okay. Which is third, right? Roughly.
Yeah.
Okay.
This bit is all the specific traitor legions or loyalist legions specific stuff. Okay. So
now
we've got for Thousand Suns.
Is that it?
Stuff like their special army selections and their special units.
So is that it? Is that it? With that and the core rulebook, you can play.
You can play any of the 18 Space Marine Legions that are featured in the Horus Heresy.
Okay, so you don't need like codexes and crap on top of it.
No.
All right.
No.
Cool. That's okay then. All right.
This is basically 8 codexes in one book.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Makes sense. Right.
There are upcoming books that will do the other forces that aren't Space Marines.
Okay.
Like the Mechanicum, Night Houses, Imperial Army, Solar Auxilia, Talons of the Emperor, etc., etc., etc.
Cool.
And updated PDFs and stuff. So I am in the process of totting up all of my stuff from the last edition versus all of my stuff from this edition and working out what I've lost and what I haven't. So tune into my Twitter to see me get pissed off at things. Also available on Saturday to order the Mark 6 Tactical Squad. In a box of 20 from the main rulebook, the main rulebook, the launch box. The other Prospero Burns box set hero, the Space Wolf character Guygor Fellhand. The Legion of Astartes Praetor and Chaplain console. It's interesting to read this article because they're like, originally available in the Space Marine Hero set. Wrong. These were originally available in the Betrayal at Calth board game / Heresy starter set, which was the prequel to the Betrayal of the Burning of Prospero starter set / board game thing. So that's where they were from.
Is there many heads and you can have a female head, or is there a mini female and a mini male?
For the Space Marines?
I'm looking at I don't know if they're space. No, they're space squad. Volten. Is that what we're talking about?
That's later on.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
You've skipped ahead.
I skipped ahead. Oh my god. Why did I not see those then on this? Oh, sorry. All right. So those are the chaos. Is that what we're talking about then?
We're like
Astartes. Okay.
Legion Astartes Praetor and Chaplain console.
Yep. The guy with the big claw. Okay. And then
just down from him.
The two guys that okay, cool. Why are their shoulders so high above his head? That looks weird.
Yep. That is
normal.
Cataphracti Terminator plate. That's what that looks like.
Okay,
it's
cool.
Weird.
It's weird. Okay.
I mean, his shoulders are still in the right place.
No, yeah. It's like shoulder pads.
They're just like armor,
Yeah,
like up there.
yeah.
It's
cool.
It's how you know who's in charge in 40k is they've got the biggest shoulder pads.
Were those created in the 80s? Where everybody had like giant shoulder pads. Maybe.
Look up Saturnine pattern Terminator armor, and that's
even worse.
That's even worse.
All right.
That is. Yeah.
Cool.
Dice for the two legions that are quote unquote featured in the starter box.
Ooh, pretty dice. I like
nice dice.
I like the Sons of Horus. They're nice.
19 dice and a scatter dice because scatter dice are big and clever. And there's some novels.
Just take a D8. Look. Oh my God! It's an arrow.
Yeah.
Oh, pointing this way. There we go. It's like, really? You need a. Anyways.
Well, one of the faces is direct hit. So.
Oh, okay. Yep. Okay, I see.
That's all the pre-orders. Heresy Thursday last week. We're into the Legion specific upgrade packs for the new stuff. So Mark 6 shoulders and heads for Dark Angels. I've not put those in the show notes because I'm an idiot and I forgot. But they're coming, and I imagine they'll be working their way through all of the legions that aren't the quote-unquote featured legions from the box set. In due time, we might get some interesting stuff that are different occasionally. In the meantime, we'll see. Link number 2. It's the Mighty Halfkin. So we've got a look at the core battle line main troop choice for the League of Votan squat armies. So these are, as you say, look like there's going to be a choice of male and female heads.
Okay. Yep.
Looking through them at the moment to look at like the leg sculpts and the body poses to see where they repeat. It doesn't look like the body types are different, so it does look like they are just mix and match in terms of head, unless I'm really missing something or not looking that hard. 10 to 20 led by Thanes, so yeah, they don't look that different. So those are your basic squats.
Yeah, no, yeah. I like the new squats. They look okay.
They look pretty nice. Yeah. Pretty cool. And interestingly for everyone, the next thing, some new Citadel paints.
Yeah, I've seen those. Those look. There's some really nice one in there.
So, if this new white spray is as good as they say it is,
then it's gonna be worth $40.
Then yeah, they're gonna charge you through the nose for that because they have worked some wizardry to get that to spray smooth.
Yeah, I like the shades. Well, whatever you want to call it, wash. I like the Soulblight Grey. I'm like, oh man, that is gonna be so cool.
Yeah,
for doing like white.
Like, at the
armor.
moment, like, yeah. I don't know if you can see my pot of Apothecary Grey that I've got here. Yeah. I used that day before yesterday, and that has already started like settling and separating out.
Yeah, they always do.
So you've got to give that a proper shake.
Yeah. No,
to get that going.
The Apothecary white in the contrast paint is the same. They always like split like freaking crazy. Yeah, it's like look at this, like It's crazy separated. Yeah, it's nuts. Like those separate like crazy.
So yeah, there's 25 new contrast paints, 7 new shades. What's interesting though is they said they've reformulated all of their existing shades. I don't know if I like that.
They were working fine before.
Yeah, that might mean that they work slightly differently. So I may be stocking up on the ones that I use the more of.
Yeah. Well,
they are also discontinuing the gloss shades.
This is what, yeah. I don't care because I don't use gloss shades at all. I hate gloss. Well, usually what I use for gloss thing is this guy that I put on top of whatever I want to look like water or whatever, which is Mod Podge gloss. And that's what I use. I even have, I think, some like extra super gloss or whatever. It's gotta be somewhere around here, but yeah. It's even more gloss than this. And that's usually what I use for if I really want like gloss finished. But anyways, yeah. Yeah, for the people that use them all the time, I know that a lot of people are mixing. Like they used to, when you have Aggressor shade, you mix gloss and regular one.
Yeah.
And so because there is the gloss, it goes a little bit better into the crevices and it flows better. And so they use that. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't think it's a very good idea for them to discontinue, but that must be because they don't sell them as well as all the others. Yeah. I think that's why. But I like some of the colors. Some of the colors look super freaking bright, and I really like those.
Arthur from the club uses the Cryptek Armor Shade gloss as like a main component of his Necron army that he's painting, so he's pretty pissed.
Yeah.
So he's stocking up.
Yeah, it's gonna have to, yeah. But yeah, they have some good, I think they have some good, like the new contrast, some of them are really nice colors. I really like it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I'm tempted to grab the speed paints, and I think that's kind of what their answer is to that. Is speed paints are like, hey, we got 20 new, like 24, I think, base color, and then Games Workshop come up and say, hey, we got 25 new ones on top of the 40 something that we already have. Here you go. Now you have like almost 70. I think it's close to, it must be close to 70 now, contrast paint. Because I think it was like 40 something and now it's 25. Yeah, we're getting close to, 60, 70, 75 maybe now, something like that. Like I said, they're getting close to 80 where everybody else got like 20. So of course, yeah, they're I think that's what they're doing. They're just trying to put the thing back in their court, the ball back in their court, saying, hey, yes, they're more expensive, but look at all the choice that you have. I mean, you have some really bright colors that I don't think any other have, even
so
remotely close
I really
to those,
like the look of the new the Leviathan purple looks really nice.
Yeah.
The Garagax sewer, the Briar Queen Chill and Pilar Glacier.
Yep, that one, the Glacier one, yeah,
nice.
yeah, Pilar Glacier is. I think this one is gonna be nice for like really subtle effect, because it looks pretty.
Frostheart.
It looks pretty.
I think Frostheart looks quite pretty as well.
Yeah. I like the Imperial
in purple.
I like the Imperial Fist and the magenta, the Doomfire magenta. I don't see those really. I think they're gonna be maybe too opaque. You might wanna thin them out with some
contrast medium.
Yeah, because I think they're gonna be maybe a little bit too opaque. But again, like they're super bright. They look super cool. All right.
the only other very quick thing is we've got the new season of both AOS and 40k starting on Saturday.
Okay.
With the new codex approved and the new General's Handbook. So I'm excited for that. So
nice. Cool.
A whole load of new missions and new and interesting ways to score that are shifting the focus of how you build your Age of Sigmar lists.
All right. Okay.
Which is going to be dope. I'm excited. I honestly don't... When I'm started organising my game, what I'm going to be doing at club on Sunday, and I was like, Horus Heresy, Age of Sigmar, Horus Heresy, Age of Sigmar. I don't know what to do. I like both these things equally.
That's a good problem to have, you know.
Yeah, spoilt for choice.
Yep.
It's a good time to be a nerd.
All right.
I've got paint all over my fingers now.
How's your speaking of paint, how's your terrain doing? How does it look? Good?
So I have dry brushed all the brickwork.
Cool.
And I've put a layer of gold down on all the bits that are going to be gold, but because I was doing a quick and dirty base layer on that, that is absolutely going to need at least another layer.
Okay.
On that, because there's some bits where the pigment's all watered down too much. So.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when I sprayed that, it dried a little bit funny, so it feels a lot very dusty and chalky. So,
Well, I have one.
How's your bandits?
Well, I have one bandit with base color locked in, so that's done. And then a second one, which I've started, which got 3/4 of the colors in. So yeah, really nice little session. This guy's got mostly brown, so he'll go take a dive into Aggressor Shade, and then maybe some highlights. I'm not even sure I'll do highlights, because they're bandits and they're, you know, grimy. So we'll see. But yeah, I'll keep working on those, and hopefully I can have they want to have like most of them finished, but I don't think I will by in 2 weeks. I don't think so, but we'll see how much I can get done. So yeah, well, thank you everybody for staying with us. Hopefully my sound is not too bad. I've got like 5 files that I'm gonna have to somehow stitch together properly, so I'll find another recording software. If you have any idea, just let me know. Something I can use on an iPad would be better, but if I have to use it on a computer, that will work too. So I need to sort this out for next podcast, which is gonna be Season 2, Episode 1. Yay! Again, like and subscribe. And yeah, hope you
follow us on Twitter. Join the Discord. Talk to us.
Yeah, hope you enjoy your hobby streak and the hobby in general. And we'll talk to you in 2 weeks. Thanks again, Liam, for being there. And yeah, awesome.
Go read Military Miniatures magazine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I need to. Well, my daughter is gonna go do her lesson thing, so
tell them we said hi.
I have 30 minutes to start reading on that and see how good it is. And we'll talk. Well, like again, like if we have time to read a little bit more until next week, we'll let you know how good it is. All right. Thanks everybody. Bye.
See you later.